Hi, my name is Susan. This time I'm going to be talking about how I got captured by the Helm. The Realm is a fear-based network that is alleged to be Jewish, using old law to punish its captives. Jewish being satanic fake Jews, nothing to do with the average God-believing Jew. This is what I've been told by my husband in the Realm, who has a Jewish line in his ancestry, but he himself is a Christian, as I said before. We both have a lot of respect for the Jewish faith, and we know its importance to the grand scheme of things in God's plan. These satanic Jews have nothing to do with bettering this earth, only to control it. This is all what I've learnt from my husband in the Realm. Note, this has not been confirmed in real life yet, but our spiritual confirmations have seen the Star of David in patterns in furniture and crumpled up plastic bags with symbols on. This is how God confirms to me, usually to back up what my husband says. We don't know if this is tied up with mystical offshoots of the Jewish faith, or whether it's a demonic plot to discredit the faith, as it's always been throughout history. They use the Helm to administer their punishments, which can come also in the form of witchcraft, which is a place under God's feet in the sky. A demonic place in the sky, a place of dark energy that captures your mind and controls you by your own fear. The more you fear, the more in physical pain and punishment you get. And I've been in this for probably about over a year now. This network captures people from the higher end of society and controls them by this method. And my husband tells me that there are other networks as well, but that's yet to be confirmed. It started when I began getting conscious of my kingdom husband. I could feel him and I could communicate with him. And as I says in an earlier video, he progressed from mental projection of hugging pillows to kissing pictures to feeling him ejaculate inside of me, feeling him like a ghost under my skin, feeling his heartbeat. Neither of us were ever involved in astral projection, so we both took it that we were sent to each other from God and paired up in one flesh. We were so in love, it felt like overwhelming love. Our hearts felt like they were going to burst. When I could hold my pillow and think of him, I would feel his heart locked to mine like a magnet. I would kiss his mouth on the picture and would feel him on such a deep spiritual connection. It felt nothing like I've ever felt before with anyone in the earthly context. We were high. We were making love in the Realm, and the voices would start interfering with us, telling us to get out the Realm and to face the other way. They were irritated with us because they didn't want us making love in the Helm and the Realm. But someone out there captured us, and we are hostages, still are to this present minute. He previously escaped by mentally offending them by thinking of pornography all day long, and basically forward facing, so he was away from this thing that turned his mind inward with fear. But as soon as I was captured, he was captured with me again, and he only feels the realms I get. He doesn't get any realmed separately, so he's like my song, Caged in a Bird. I was trying to communicate inside my head, almost like a reversal of the eyes into the back of my mind, being in two worlds at once, the realm being the most dominant as time went by, with commands. I was communicating with my husband on a regular basis, along with the Realm. He warned me about the Realm, not to be fearful, but I got more and more frightened of making love in the Realm, because they would punish us with the head buzzing and tightness round your midriff like a snake. The The realm can punish you for anything from eating or drinking something it isn't deemed fit, such as alcohol, wearing makeup, watching too much TV, going on the internet too long, cleaning up, moving about, or not cleaning up, being with the wrong person, having too much materialistic things, even if they are part of your work or hobbies, spending on something that isn't deemed essential, basically controlling everything you do, and if you're rebellious, you get punished for everything. My kingdom husband told me early on to take the realm and carry on doing what you want to do, otherwise they will get more controlling and use more punishment. I thought pleasing them would make them lay off, but I got more fearful and it got worse and worse. I felt so oppressed, downwards. Because my kingdom husband at the time was playing about with other sexual partners, which God gave me visions about, basically a prodigal, which is kind of common with these kingdom marriages, which was a long time ago now, probably over a year and a half ago, maybe more. I stopped making love in the Helm and was very hurt, but I still was around when he came back from his antics. I knew God would hold him to account, as he would eventually fall away from that life he was involved in. During that time I was getting ever more fearful of the realm and desperately wanted to get out. I had a lot of head chatter due to being scared, and they would play spaceship games inside my head, thinking they were trying to escort me out my own head, away from them to escape. They would periodically lift me up, but I would get punished again. Then I'd be lifted up again if I did as I was told, by putting my head down or not doing anything rebellious like loving my husband. So it seemed they were for me and then against me, all part of the head screwing. Then the voices told me to get up in the middle of the night. My fear was at its height then, in order to sleep and not have the voices keeping me up all night. They would suggest tasks I would have to adhere to. They would say something like jump to it, and depending on how you interpret the task, that could be jumping up twice and then going to bed, or working for hours if you were in fear. It's called playing devil's advocate. And being pretty literal minded, I would do the second task, and at the end of the day they were just laughing at me, laughing at my fear. I was told to stare at a microphone all night. I was told to declutter and sort out all my house all night. I was punished with a dark feeling over my mind and body, and was told to run up and down the hall just after I put my daughter to bed to shake off the darkness. I was told not to eat or drink water. I went without days without water. Then I had to have some because my mouth was so dry. I obviously got punished. I didn't eat for weeks and I lost 2 stone. I ate my own poop out of fear because they made suggestions I had to adhere to. I dragged a lot of my belongings to the local charity shops, and it felt like they put a ton of extra weight on me dragging it along as a punishment for owning so much stuff in the first place. I would be out on my bike with my family and it would be 10 times more harder to pedal, and they would restrict my breath. Some of the things they would say would be kind of funny, but not so much if you was under fear. Like you're toast, meaning that you're going to get a dose of heat later, which is like internal heat. I don't fancy your chances. Ollie Beak, Elf on the Shelf, you don't understand what this is like. You're under arrest. We'll send you a Jack Frost, which means like shivering, feeling cold. It will be another King's Thirst, a dark feeling over your mind. You're your own universe. You're not our kind. Pest. It's best to face forward. Beast mode, work yourself to death. I haven't added my breakfast yet. You're not really our type. Stop, stop, stop it. Some of the sensations and punishments I have received are feeling like my head's caving in. I can actually feel like the bone like pushing in, like a bit like the Titanic. and blinking messages in my eyes like like that all the time. Head buzzing, shortness of breath, weight's been added on me, burning insides, anxiety knots, feeling of urgency and panic, aggression, darkness over the mind and body, being hit in the legs, heart and private parts, like a zapping sensation. The sensation of crawling creatures in my hair, scalp and eyelids, mind blockages, which is one of the major ones if you keep your head up, feeling of something trapped like a hard burp in your upper chest, which is something you get a lot with witchcraft, which I had quite a big dose of. Tiredness, constant yawning, strong depression. White hot fear, throwing up, which I've done as recent as yesterday. Physical manifestations of fear, such as shitting yourself, red rashes around the throat, inner crying, hair loss, spots, magnification of current conditions such as arthritis, crying, missed periods, on the verge of panic attacks, smashing up stuff in frustration, which is like anger, crying out to God in frustration, manifestations in the natural such as music equipment being interfered with, sudden fatal shutdowns, my work being messed up or changed, bubble pack I had on my drum kit covering being lifted. It actually looked physically like it was lifting it up really slowly. Sudden loud noises in my flat, like in the rooftop, loud thuds in the ceiling, things moving about in the dark of the night. If you don't keep calm, the demonic entities will keep using the same technique to control you. And my daughter has witnessed dark shadows and stuff around the house. Sometimes they can stimulate feelings they have learnt, or simulate feelings I should say, they've learnt from different reactions that you have to fear, and will convince you that you are feeling something that you may not. And this terrible feeling of urgency, which is an anxiety, like really being on the edge. There were two main women voices whilst I was actually in the realm, who would warn me I'd go under a man in the Helm that would be more brutal to me if I didn't adhere to the rules. These women would try to come across as my husband's mum and sister, so I trusted them at the time. Eventually the head buzzing became so bad I was told to keep my head down, and was told to do more for my daughter, play with her in the park, but I just couldn't stand having my head down all day as I felt so oppressed. So I would lift my head and I would get round. By that I mean sent head buzzing punishment, which would block my mind and eventually get more and more painful, and would cause me to become more fearful. That dark feeling again. I was told by my husband I must put my head on one side to de-realm, or set my head down downwards to de-realm, so to actually feel less fearful again, which worked, but I struggled to maintain that all day. Then I was realmed that bad that my husband told me I had to control my eyes, moving my head parallel from one side to the other like this, because like that's how balmy they are. Even that I was rubbish at, so I was more realmed. Then my husband told me to think of rude things and making love in my mind to offend the Helm and the realm, and it would back the buzzing off for a while. It actually felt like this creature moving backwards in my head in like a buzzing way. It's really strange. Then I went through a stage of constantly making love to my husband in my head, lying down all day long. I was struggling with trying to cope with balancing up real life and my mental eyes looking back into my head. My husband told me to think of him all day long, but that was impractical because I couldn't think and do tasks at the same time. We started making love in the spiritual realm again, but this time not with the toys. I could feel his erection inside of me, and I would squeeze onto him, and he would be the perfect fit, and he would shake me and I would orgasm. But again, nothing I have experienced in the worldly realm. He thought making love would lift me up and make me get a higher energy, but it didn't work. And we stopped making love, and it felt kind of wrong. He'd been in this weird place that I wasn't sure of. And we both decided that it was better to face forward and let God sort it out. As we got more and more blocked, and thought, looking back out into our own worlds and relying on God to sort the problem out, as I just said, the realm went through stages of trying to separate us, and it felt like we were being spiritually torn apart, and we could feel each other sexually and would get zapped in the private parts. Us thinking we were doing the right thing, trying to please the realm, because we just feel like we're one flesh. You know, whether we've been captured that way and it's not meant to be that way, time will tell. But some days it feels like I have a G-force in my face, especially like if I don't keep my head down. But I'm trying to keep it up all the time now and actually take it, because I'm being helmed that hard. They really want to kill us, but God holds us even though it hurts. It's for a greater purpose, obviously. As far as I know, the realm dropped us and we are now mentally in the demonic helm, which is a punishment all day long. So I'm getting like 3 or 4 symptoms now, like head buzzing, chest tightness or breathing, and probably the snake. And like can't feel anything anymore. So he tries to keep quiet, but because I have refused to bow my head, I've got more and more blocked over the last year and can't feel him at all. I can hear him but not feel him. It's like we have been blocked from each other deliberately. Whether that's an attack on our marriage or whether it's God trying to break us away from each other in this hostage situation. I've been training to look forwards now and not to look back in my mind, otherwise it gets more painful in my head. I can see a slight ghost of my husband behind, and he's guiding me out. He maintains that I should keep my head up and not bow to the demons in the helm. I now have strong headaches, snake feelings around my waist, breathing restrictions. I'm having the lot thrown at me because I hold my head up. And being fear-based, still it's hard to cope with the physical symptoms, but God's still holding us. We should have been dead, but it hasn't succeeded. And I'm trying to keep my mind quiet. Is a feat in itself. It gets worse if it hurts the fearful thoughts and takes you down further. So I'm just walking blindly and hoping this thing will subside eventually. I don't know if I have to train my husband out of my mind to release myself from it, get fear-free by getting consumed by the darkness in the helm and just toughening up, or concentrating on the real world, or even waiting for God to rescue us. I just don't know. Apparently the helm is a place backs off when you become higher vibrational. In other words, getting back to yourself and doing the things you should and just ignoring it. If you sit worrying about the pain it gives you, it feeds off it and pulls you down further. The reason this entity is not accountable is because it's invisible. It's a spiritual entity that holds your mind captive and body to a point. The thing that would kill you would be your own fear, not a physical manifestation, which would not be detected by the doctors in the real world anyway. That's why they get away with it. So I have to concentrate on the real world, not to look back, not to think, just to be present in the moment. Half my world in innocence, the other half knowing this giant is trying to take me out. I believe God has brought me here to expose this evil using my weakness, been fear, I don't know, for his ultimate glory. So I have to have my eyes on God at all times. Thank you.